I'm Abby, also known as Bird. I am trying to get my life back. Hey guys, it's been a minute, I feel like. I haven't really been updating everybody about what's been going on. I feel like I haven't really had much news or good news. I felt like I kind of needed to take a break almost because I got to the point where I was almost tired of hearing myself talk about how I'm in the same situation still not feeling good, still trying these different avenues that aren't helping very much. I don't know. I don't know if it was more of like feeling that you guys might get tired of hearing me talk about it, or the fact that I was kind of just overhearing it myself, that I just felt like I kind of needed to take a break and regroup and figure out what it is I need to do for myself and build up the strength to try more things. And in the meantime, I got a bad infection on my back somehow. Don't really know what happened. On top of that, I had been fighting another UTI for about 2 months that just wouldn't go away. Of course, ended up back at the emergency room. I think it was like 3 times before infectious disease got involved. And then we figured out what medication I needed because the first couple of doctors didn't swab the infection, and the same thing. You get the runaround 3 or 4 times, and then finally somebody somewhat helps you. Where am I at now? I took the antibiotics and the infection went away. The infection for the UTI has, fingers crossed, thank God, been gone for 2.5, 3 weeks now since my last course of antibiotic. And then I had been dealing with anemia on and off for a little while. The doctors for like the last year never really sounded too concerned. At one point, my primary care told me to just take iron supplements. I think that might have been before I got like really sick. But then my levels went back up a little bit, but then I got sick. And, my diet, obviously, with the gastroparesis has gotten very, very limited. And I also think because of that, because of the gastroparesis and medication issues, because of all of the antibiotics that I've been destroying my body with over the last 2 years, I have developed a pretty bad, malabsorption issue. My levels for the anemia have been progressively getting worse. I was in talks with my functional medicine doctor that I see about it. We tested my blood. I think my ferritin was sitting at a 4, which is really low. My hemoglobin was always kind of around a 9. So my functional medicine doctor decided that it's time to send me into a hematologist because the levels were starting to get too low. And because of the gastroparesis, I can't take oral iron. I've had 3 or 4 doctors now tell me that it's not worth taking it or even trying because it destroys people's stomachs that don't have my issues. So I went and saw the hematologist. We decided to move forward with iron infusions. And then I got scared and I postponed them. And then I got the infection in my back. So I ended up having to postpone them again. And I was sick with that whole infection thing for 3 weeks. So the doctor in the emergency room, because they do all the regular blood workup, plus they were testing to make sure the infection that was in my back hadn't moved to my blood or anything severe like that. So he came back and was like, I've looked at your blood and I've kind of looked at your levels and your anemia is starting to get really bad. Just in 2 weeks, and I know things fluctuate, but just in 2 weeks alone, my hemoglobin had dropped 1 point from a 9 to an 8. So we were starting to get concerned. After I got out of the emergency room, got myself into a good place, finishing my antibiotics and stuff for the infections that I was dealing with, I had a little sit down with myself. I just kind of gave, I guess, myself a pep talk because I'm like afraid of everything, you know? I guess I've just been like so traumatized, not only from the last 4 years of what's been going on with my health, but you know, I have my spinal cord injury. It's like it's the last 10 years of my life with good parts in between, of course, especially, you know, the years before I got sick. Things had gotten okay with my spinal cord injury and I was in a really good place, but I am traumatized from all of the medical stuff that I've had to endure and experience. You know, there's things now where I'll reschedule, I'll put things off, I'll freak myself out. You know, the doctor in the emergency room was, you know, had a talk with me about the anemia and was saying that your body has probably over time slowly adjusted to how low your levels are, but a normal person was to drop out of nowhere to the levels that you're at, they would feel really sick. And he said that, you know, while it might not be the cause of everything that's going on right now with all your illnesses and stuff, it definitely isn't helping. The doctor was just like, it will definitely help you feel a little better. And after having the conversation with him about it, I just came home and, you know, had to get through another week of antibiotics with the infection that I was dealing with. And after that, I just kind of was like, I got to start trying to do more things that could potentially help. You know, there's like supplements my functional medicine doctor gave me, and I would try, but then I would be uncomfortable the first week going through them. So I would give up because it would put me in a little more pain than I felt like dealing with. I guess I'm at my breaking point at this point, and it's probably another reason why I just haven't been very active on social media, because I don't know, like I got to a point where I was just tired of it and didn't really have anything to talk about. And I don't want to be just the girl that's always sick. I want more things to talk about. I want to be able to share good things, you know, and I don't know, just feel like more like myself. The last 4 years, I just don't feel like myself. So anyways, I sucked it up. I ended up going for my first iron infusion 2 weeks ago this Thursday. This Thursday will be my second infusion. Everything went good. The infusion, it felt a little weird getting it, but I only had to sit there for a half hour and came home afterwards and took a nice nap and kind of took it easy that weekend. And luckily, I had a little bit of a headache and some nausea, but I felt okay. Honestly, I mean, I haven't really felt like super major changes. And I think that's just because I have to do 3 of them. And then we stop and we do blood work for, I think, 2 or 3 months. And they see where my levels are at once everything kind of like balances out. And then she'll know if I need to do them every 6 months or how it's going to play out. I have noticed a difference in a little bit of my energy. I guess I don't feel as tired. I think it's like changed a little bit on how much anxiety I was feeling. And because I'm always like walking around with this pressure in my chest and feeling like I can't breathe and just like this weight bearing down on me. And I kind of feel like a little bit of that weight has lifted. Now, my stomach's still a mess. I still feel sick half the time and I still get dizzy and, you know, my blood pressure still feels all weird and stuff. But I feel a little lighter and it's nice. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the next 2 infusions that I have, because if that one has already made me feel the slightest improvement, I'm so curious to see what the next 2 are going to do for me. I think that the anemia was affecting me more than I realized. And with my levels where they were at, probably has been making me feel really crappy on top of everything else. I also have been reading that when you're dealing with iron deficiency anemia, it doesn't cause UTIs, but you have a harder time fighting them off. So I'm curious as to whether or not my body's going to have an easier time managing the UTIs that I've been dealing with, and maybe they'll at least, I can go longer without needing to treat anything. So that's been pretty exciting that I'm really happy about. At the end of January, did my first round of Botox for my bladder. We're retrying that again because it's been almost 2 years since the last time I tried. So I found a new urologist who has a game plan. We're going to try it 3 times every 3 months. So once every 3 months for three tries before we decide whether or not it's doing anything. Hopefully, she's hoping that she could almost jumpstart my bladder back to where it was so we could take the Foley catheter out. I've started bladder training to basically, you got to retrain your bladder to stretch out again, because after 2 years your bladder will shrink because of it not filling. So the other day, for the first time, I plugged my catheter up. I managed to fill it up to, I think, almost 300 cc's before I kind of felt anything. So I think that we might be headed in a good direction with that, which would be so incredible, because if I could get rid of the Foley catheter, it will slow down the rate of the UTIs that I have tremendously. That alone, not having to take antibiotics, which has been destroying my gut. I feel like if I could just get the snowball going, it will build up momentum and I could start finally getting my body back to a somewhat manageable place. I have a lot more hope right now than I've had in a long time, which is amazing. And I feel like I kind of just want to start participating in life again. So I wanted to come and just say hi with a better attitude to you guys. I feel like I need to reintroduce myself. A lot of you I don't know, because our page kind of took a left turn from where we were a few years ago, and I haven't been as present, like I said. I'm Abbey, also known as Bird. I am the Bird in LC3 and the Bird. I have a lot of medical issues, and I am trying to get my life back. Before all of this and before my spinal cord injury, I was a performer. Yeah, that's a little bit about me, and I'm on the road to finding myself again. I don't want this to be, I'm on the road to my recovery. I want this to be, I'm on the road to finding myself again, because I am 38 going on 39. I feel like a lot of time has been taken away from me. I've lost a lot of myself in that time. It's time to take that back, start living life the way that I want to, and whatever that ends up being, whether it's just finding some little hobbies that make me feel good, or allowing Lawrence and I to travel a little bit more and just enjoy life in that way. Whatever it ends up being, just finding our own little homestead and building that into whatever it ends up being. Just anything that doesn't revolve around my health 24/7. Because while I'm grateful to be here from where I was, my spinal cord injury was very bad. I could not be here. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for learning what a strong human being I am. And I'm grateful for having the opportunity to be with somebody who has shown me what real love is. I'm so ready to it not be my 24/7 life. I want to be a little more present again, just keeping on the hope train of feeling better and feeling more like me. I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who is still here, who is new here that supports us, who has given so much insight and information when it comes to posts that we made. A lot of you guys have helped so much in finding solutions and answers and questions and doctors and everything in between, just the support in general for me, for Lawrence. It really has meant so much to us over the years. You guys have just been so amazing, and we care about a lot of you. We care about our community very much here. It's very special, very unique situation for us. I just want to say thank you so much. Continue having a good time with us, and just thank you. I appreciate you guys very much. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.